The Fountain City Council special meeting agenda for June 29th, 2026. Madam Clerk, call to order. We don't call to order, please.
Do you want to do Pledge of Allegiance?
Well, I'm doing it the order it's on the agenda. My agenda says call to order and then Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh,
That is what we normally do, but
is that me? I would do roll call, you mean?
yeah, roll call.
I do roll
Oh,
call.
for heaven's sakes, I'm already checked out, huh? All right, stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Do it on YouTube. Why not? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, in liberty and justice for all. Now, Madam Clerk, how about roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Mayor Thompson?
I guess I'm here.
Mayor Pro Tem Estes?
Here.
Councilmember Veerhoff? Councilmember Geek? Here. Councilmember Rick?
Physically present.
Councilmember Hersberg?
Here.
Councilmember Ruffinick?
Here.
I have 6 members present. 1 is absent.
We are here tonight to deal with one thing, and I want to make it clear that this is a special meeting agenda, which we are allowed to do according to our codes and ordinances. We call a special meeting, which we did, followed the correct procedure. And we are here to deal with Resolution 26-033, a resolution authorizing the lease, purchase, financing, and acquisition of server hardware and supporting equipment for the city's core technology infrastructure through Holman Capital and amending the FY 2026 budget. And is that Mr. Bowlby?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you all for being here on short notice and going through this. I know I'll try to make it brief on some background and then talk about what we're purchasing and why now. So we had, I believe it was the 16th, I was at the work session with you all and was discussing the possibility of moving a little bit quicker on purchasing some servers and storage and networking to replace hardware that can no longer be supported after middle of next year. My original plan when we did that was to get some more quotes, look around and price things out, make sure we're doing as much due diligence as we possibly can to ensure we're getting a fair price, the right hardware, the right setup, everything's correct. So on Wednesday, the day after our work session, I requested another quote from our vendor, and that quote was 20% higher than the one I had just talked about the day before. So I got we started doing some research and looking, and did more research. That is fairly standard right now. We're seeing 10 to 15, sometimes 20% month-over-month increases on technology prices. So that's why we're here now to get what we have is a quote that expires tomorrow. And if we don't purchase it by tomorrow, we're expecting 10 to 20% price increase, but even before the next council meeting on the 14th. So just a quick, brief overview. It's server, storage, networking, both production and disaster recovery. It supports basically every department uses this in some way, from customer service billing, logging into your computer, accessing email, passwords, everything that we do. This is the core infrastructure, that hardware that runs all of that. Again, so why are we rushing this? Why are we doing this now? Our quotes, and this is industry-wide, we're getting a maximum of about 14 days on technology quotes right now. Normally we can get 30, 60, sometimes they'll even push it 90 days if things are pretty stable. Right now it's ridiculously volatile. I was doing some research over the weekend and this morning, and there's some companies and cities that are getting 3 days. It's good today. Buy it now, or tomorrow is going to cost more. And that's just the current market. So our current hardware support extends through mid-2027, and we can't extend support on the hardware any longer, which means you also won't be able to get software updates. So any vulnerabilities we can't patch. Like I said, the quotes we received after the work session had about a 20% price increase. To secure those prices that we have now, I asked for this meeting, and everyone agreed to come and look at this. We're estimating about $150,000 to $250,000 if we waited until the next regular council meeting. We didn't feel that's responsible, so I wanted to bring this to you and say, hey, this is where we're at. This is our recommendation. What do you guys want to do? We could potentially see prices flatten, but they're not going to drop. They're not going to go down anytime soon. It's predicted this is going to increases like this are going to continue through next year, which means if we waited until our normal refresh cycle of next year, we'd be looking at 2 to 3 times this much. That's just not reasonable to ask. So what we did for pricing, we received the quote from one of our main technology partners, Sanity Solutions. That was the first quote that we were working off of for the prices that I talked at the work session and how we built this tonight. Those pricing does leverage NASPO, which is the National Association of State Procurement Offices. We don't necessarily use that, but it is pre-negotiated, pre-bid contracts that are favorable to government organizations. So that these prices are actually lower than the NASPO contract prices. We did still receive multiple quotes in the last couple weeks. One of them came in as high as 1.6 million. This is just over 1. It's 1.03 is the total purchase price we have today. Yeah, we just wanted to make sure that we were getting at least a competitive price and not just, hey, this is the price, and we didn't just go with one person. We went several places to make sure we're getting a competitive price, and we feel that we are. So then the pricing details, so for the production infrastructure, and these numbers, let me just get this, are a little bit different than what's on the commentary on the resolution. They're lower, which we're fine with. We're approving up to the number that's on the resolution, but just today we were able to get numbers marked down from what we had on Friday when we called for this. So I was able to get a little bit of savings from our vendor just because I asked for it. So the production infrastructure is at $571,000. Disaster recovery is at $466,000 for a total price of $1,037,823. This is going to be on a Holman Capital lease, which is the same thing we did with our Panasonic Toughbooks. So same company, same everything there. Total lease price of $1,042,823.67 at an interest rate of 5.51%, with semi-annual payments starting on January 9th of $120,731.28. So our total payments will be just over 1.2 million. And the original quotes that we've gotten would have been $1,270,944. So we saved about $63,000 over the life of the lease from what we got from our vendor today. And yeah, we're purchasing from Sanity Solutions, and it's going to be Dell hardware, which we've used for years. Everything we use is Dell. We know the support we get. We know what to expect when we call, how fast parts are going to show up. So we're very comfortable with Dell. So with that, unless there's any questions.
I'm not seeing any lights up here. I think it is a good idea to just stick with the original quote up to that number in case something
You never know.
changes when you send it in tomorrow. So, yeah. So I'd like to see it there. Mr. Rick?
Question for Tony. A couple questions. In the past, when we've had an excess of reserve, we've paid ahead on leases. Are you aware of any penalty if we decide to pay a year or two ahead or give them additional money?
So this is a contract, sir, under our master service agreement.
Okay,
So we've got a larger contract so that we can get, smaller ones out of it. And so under that master service agreement, there's no penalties for early payment.
okay. And then you said this was going to be used by the entire city to include the utility department? So utilities could contribute to, I'm assuming all this money is going to come out of general fund. Can the utility pay towards this use since they're getting some of the benefit of it?
So the way that that's going to work, sir, this is all going to go into a lease proceeds account. The first payment won't be due until January of next year.
Okay,
At that point, we'll be making biannual payments, so twice a year we'll be making a payment. You are correct that the utilities do use a portion of this, and so that is going to be accounted for during the end-of-year cost allocation that we do every year, and so this is part of what gets reallocated during that process. So they will pay a portion of it based off of the larger allocation metrics.
okay. Thank you very much. That's all I had, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions? Okay, with no further questions, what would council like to do with this? Councilmember Estes.
I move to approve Resolution 26-033.
Okay, we have a motion. Councilmember Geek.
I second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further deliberation? Seeing none, please vote.
I have 6 yes, motion carries.
Okay, no further business before this body. We are adjourned.